So hello. Is that? Can you hear it? Is it on, Chris? Is it on? It's not on. Is it on? Hello. Can you hear it? Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna wait. Yeah, yeah. Hello. 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 Is it okay if we just start? We're gonna do. No, there's no mic. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? We're going to do this in two sections tonight. We're so happy you came. Thank you so much. I mean, what a nice turnout. We have Louise Crawford to thank for finding Vaughn. Turns out my son lives 2 blocks away. I still haven't seen his apartment, but he knows this place, but you know this place. Louise is with Brooklyn Social Media, runs Brooklyn Social Media. We're here also because 5 of us out of the 6 readers are in class with Elaine Sexton, the great Elaine Sexton, who has a book. Yes, exactly. Her 4th or 5th book coming out with, is it the 5th book? 4th book with Grid Books next year. She's amazing. She's really brought us together in so many incredible ways. And really, we all look forward to having class every week. It's like a highlight. And it was through Sarah Lawrence, but it's an offshoot of Sarah Lawrence, and it's wonderful. And we want to thank Vaughn Barr as well, because Vaughn is a real find. It's really great. There's another writers group upstairs. We've invited them all to join us. So fun. Why not? Why not? So, it's all about creativity. But I want to say that a lot of us are going to be at AWP, which is a writers conference in Los Angeles, taking place next March. And we put together a group of 16 writers to read. I'm still looking for a venue for us in LA, if anybody knows of a place near the LA Convention Center, but we're going to be there. And also, July 11th, we're going to have something called Poetathon or Idea-a-thon in Bedford, where anybody can come up and read anything, sing a song, talk about an idea, whatever, all about creativity. And I found something this morning that, the poet Sharon Olds, who was the poet laureate of New York. So I interviewed her many years ago. And I have I hope I have it here. If not, I'll read it later. Yeah, it's up there. She talked about not necessarily knowing how life makes sense, but making sense of life through writing. And she is just an amazing person. She talked about making things, like she makes these little sculptures, these little paper things, all kinds of stuff, and it just helps her get through her life. But I'll read you the actual statement later. One of our poets couldn't be here tonight because she's sick. So Elaine Sexton, our teacher, is going to read for her because we want her to be represented. Her name is Linda Hillman Chase, and she's just wonderful. So what we're going to do is Elaine is going to read, then Bonnie Emanuel is going to read, and then Joan Capello is going to read. Then we're going to take a break so you can eat the pizza and whatever else we have up there, little scraps and bits. And then Thea and I will read. Okay, so now we're going to go to Elaine. Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me? Oh.
The mic is not on. There is no mic. I think it's just connected to the.
I made a mistake not mentioning Ellen Ferguson. I apologize. Ellen Ferguson is our other reader. I apologize. I didn't say her name. Is this mic not on in the room?
It's just for the camera.
Can you hear?
Not well.
You can't hear. Is there a mic here?
Yeah, there is a mic here. You have to project when you're up there.
Yeah. Can you hear?
Yeah, there is a mic.
You can't. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to see if there's a mic. Let's see if there's a mic.
You don't need it on here. It's okay. Don't mind.
Sister.
Very pleased with you.
Oh, wow.
Not since the 90s. Oh, like here? Oh, no. No, Sri Lanka. Is that English?
All right. All right. We're going without a mic. So just asking in the back of the room, can you hear, Joan, can you hear me? Sort of? All right. I'm going to shout. I need to. Anyway, so we didn't do bios, but I know Linda can't be here tonight, Linda Hillman Chase. She has a collection of poems called The Lapse, and I think these 3 poems that I'm reading tonight are from her forthcoming collection called Not My First Walk on the Moon. And that's coming out in July, I think, right? Or soon. Okay. Lip sync. 1. Lip. Once in a bungalow colony, my lips swelled 3 times their size as I slept beneath mosquito netting. Bug-bitten lips, allergic, lips licked large, inflamed in summer's heat. 2. Heat. Once in a piano lesson, teacher told me his kiss was a reward for fine playing. Silly lips, bartered for 3 gold coins, ruined lips, stick lips aflame with red shame. 3. Shame. Once a young boy said, "Time to kiss," but my shy, glossed lips eluded his. Tentative teenage lips, disgraced and evasive, waiting to turn impertinent, hungry, prickle with longing. 4. Longing. Lipstick never lasts long. I reapply with ladies in front of mirrors lit to lie. 5. Lie. My lips also lie, like the man in the nursing home, sitting beside his meals, his lips zipped tight, smiling as if to conceal his refusal. 6. Refusal. Maybe hunger is enough, makes us leap across selves like children splashing invitations at each other. It's enough to loosen lips. 7. Lips. My blown-up, locked-down, fresh, slit-like, dried, married, moistened, compliant lips are so cheap they will lip-sync to any pop song. 8. Song. In winter, the wind defies the chap and shape of each new crack in my lip. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm just going to read one more. These are longer poems, but I think, as Vanessa suggested, it's important that Linda be represented because she can't be here tonight. So, and I just want to thank everybody. the greatest gift you can give any friend is just show up for whatever there is that they're doing. So you're giving everyone a great gift by being here tonight. And you're getting a gift by hearing them read. Okay, so this second poem is, and I know this poem from as it was coming into being, Turner's painting of the sea at Margate for my mother. Were you that outline in the boat falling into the horizon, an unspecified figure blown loose by wind and wave, open to interpretation or storm? Churning color, lit from the inside like regret, the way you gave up painting and everything you loved. The horizon dissolves in the thickened layers of strokes, a streak of black working its way across the middle of the canvas. Storms as if one could become unassailable. Or were you the one of the figures of breeze and light walking the piers and beaches? Here, but going somewhere else.
Can I read your bio? Oh, Bonnie, please, and also Linda's. Oh, did you take? So that was, and there are books for sale. And Linda, again, Linda was going to be here tonight. She's very upset that she wasn't, but that was great. So it's fantastic. Thank you. And Linda Hillman Chase, author of The Lapse. Linda Hillman Chase chapbook, Not My First Walk on the Moon, is forthcoming with Finishing Line Press. Her previous chapbook, The Lapse, was published by Finishing Line in 2014, and her poems are forthcoming in Kestrel and have appeared in American Poetry Journal, Quartet, Westchester Review, To Horatio, Raven's Perch, Wild Roof, and other publications. She practices as a psychoanalyst in New York City and Westchester County. Among her publications as a psychoanalyst, she wrote, co-wrote, and co-edited a book, The Voice of the Analyst, Narratives in Developing a Psychoanalytic Identity, published by Routledge in 2018. And now we have Bonnie Jill Emanuel, author of Glitter City. Bonnie's debut collection, Glitter City, Cornerstone, released in 2024. Her poems appear in American Poetry Review, Colorado Review, Mid-American Review, and more. She is the recipient of the Jerome Lowell de Jour Award in Creative Writing and the Irwin and Alice Stark Poetry Prize from the City College of New York. Born in Detroit, she lives in New York. So let's hear it for Bonnie.
Oh my God. Thank you, Vanessa. Look at all these people. It's great. So here we are at Vaughn. I'm going to read 4 summer heat poems. Why not? Because it's summer and it's hot. Can everybody hear me? Sort of. The first poem is called Wolf Peach. And wolf peach is the old Latin scientific name for the common tomato. And this poem is set on my back patio. Wolf Peach. June comes too soon and blinding. My tall son builds a metal obelisk trellis that stands many feet by the stucco wall. A baby clematis opens its way up. Squinting and blinking, I've somehow planted nightshades, eggplant, sunberries, many-colored potatoes all along the walk. Backyard grape tomatoes that crave like crazy the sun. Stems, green, furring like a caterpillar. In my shift of crushed emerald velvet, I am still dressed for something dark. I am always dressed for something dark, as shiny night, when the pink blood moon looks like a dangerous fruit. So the next poem is in the spirit of being at Vaughn on the Lower East Side, or wherever we are, the West Village. It's called Citronella Whispers Dark Lines into the Night. I slip into my dark glitter slip, step over the heat carefully as if a body moving could somehow cause a thunderstorm to happen before they say it might, as if weathermen are ever right. Summer keeps the city trapped, waiting for something, spectacularly grieving and hard to define. Hangs around the fire escape and yellow cafe lights stringing over Avenue A. A patio bird taps on cement. Someone laughing into a napkin. Order me a whiskey. I want to say nothing ever dies. The heart always feels so humid in the eyes. Let's see, we have poem 3, which is Back to the Backyard. This actually is Linda's favorite poem. She's reading it for her. She's not here tonight. Still Life with Glitter. August, with us at the patio table, sticking to my legs like my dark glitter skirt. Not sure I ever noticed how pointy the tips of the arborvitaes are, jagging madness in front of the fence that separates us from our neighbors, or knew how sharp or immobile words could be between two people who still love each other. I tell my husband I think the tall trees are giant crayons in a box, but just the greens, cyans, forests, thick emeralds, all different heights. I remember how it felt to open a brand new carton, how the sharpener was a promise. We don't talk about anything important in the yard, but in late summer the sky always blurs like this, and my metaphors seem more disjointed strangers even to themselves. A muddle of weeds tries so hard to be weeds in the splits between the bluestone. I tell him I like the dandelions and don't want them pulled, a reminder of something wild and fugitive, and to please leave the moss velveting green like crazy all over the patio. So the last poem is actually set on the Cape. It's in that hot, steamy, humid, northeastern beach humidity. It's about the indescribable. It's called Summer Remains, a Poem I Can't Write. Low tide I wander, Pain Hollow Cove, over and again, to see the dolphin carcass nestling, weeks now in the hummock grass, has eyes eaten out by shore birds, its rib cage exposed, bones white like milkweed. How the humidity keeps us in its grief. Gnats eddy how my hair coils. Shoal as a verb means to make shallow, but an inlet at any tide is a poem, a fullness, unwritten, sun-bleached beach plums, cattail spikes, and the toxic salve of a butterfly weed. Diamond-back terrapin, box turtles make a home here, too, for a time. I read so in the Gazette, and how they stretch their heads up from under the seawater mudflat when it rains to drink. I am only a stretching summer shape. There is no word for this, although pages are places we make shadows. All of us only visitors. My body under the sun makes a tall, mute slant, passes across small mounds of mollusks, and rotting red algae tangles in the sandbar. There's the summer. Thank you.
And our last reader before we break is Joan Capello, author of Why I Travel Alone. Joan Capello has been a backup singer, bank teller, yoga instructor, secretary, assistant film editor, dancer, and massage therapist. You can hire her tonight. Her chapbook, Why I Travel Alone, was published in 2019 by Finishing Line Press. Her prose and poetry have appeared in Persimmon Tree, Posit, a literary journal, The Night Heron Barks, To Horatio, Saving Daylight Zine, and Oddball magazine. Joan.
Thank you, Vanessa. Why I travel alone. Your anger erupts red hot, its lava setting fire to the sole of my sandal. Like that time at the marketplace in Lebanon, when you called me extravagant for buying too many grapes. Nothing ever stays put, Pantone blues. Last night you slept in my cactus. This morning all that remains is the scent of Old Spice and sound of neglect. This morning there's a cat keening under my window, the sound of neglect and your beauty beyond my control. Won't someone please kill that cat? I watch TV to think about feeling and beauty beyond control, a pain so fierce it lights up my room. I watch TV, think about feelings and your aftershave. Pain so fierce it blows up in my face. Last night you slept in my cactus. Just because I threw up at your wedding doesn't mean I'm still in love with you. You slipped out late last night with my New York magazine. I was reading that, leaving me alone once again to clean up the chaos. It's too early for lunch. I'm having trouble finding shoes that don't hurt my feet. Someone phoned saying she's from the Catherine Gibbs Secretarial School. Didn't that place fold years ago? When she asks for your current address, I tell her to call your wife. Late afternoon spinning lettuce, I catch sight of a raccoon at the edge of the driveway drooling into his little hands, wringing. Self-esteem. I tried to make you think I couldn't be bothered with me. It worked well for you, but I soon developed a tic. Malocchio versus daytime TV. Sicilian curse, horn of envy said to harm sperm. Its cosmos opens and closes while Cousin Frankie sits on the porch with garlic and lemons around his neck, hungry for lunch. Aunt Millie's kitchen is filled with steam and revenge. No mea culpas here, only justitia. Today, I need her to transport her gaze from Arthur Avenue to Queens, where my television has swallowed me into its vortex of soap opera. I pound the screen from inside the young and the restless, yelling, "I'm in here, Auntie." Nuclear fission for Imogene. When I am rich, I marry a make-believe man who has a face like a pinball machine. The man I marry has bushy eyebrows and writes music using an electronic bingo cage. The man with the bushy eyebrows and voice like gunshots, whose birds fly out of control, vaporizes my resistance, and using his voice like gunshots, ignores the periodic table, exploding me into particles that no longer attach to anything. Quarrel. Go on, do it again, blow my mind. The impact will be good for me. Thank you.
Hey, so we're going to start again. You guys in the back, I see my son. That's the problem. We're going to start again. We have 3 more poets, and that's it. And thank you again so much for being here. We have Ellen Ferguson. Woo! And Ellen Ferguson's poetry chapbook, Small Fiasco, was published by Finishing Line Press, and her chapbook, Raccoon Latrine, will be published this January. Ellen has written for McSweeney's Internet Tendency, Kugelmass, the Journal of Literary Humor, and her co-authored screenplay, Demo Queen, was a semifinalist in humor in the Screenplay Festival. Ellen also teaches and is a recipient of the University of Chicago Outstanding Educator Award. Ellen.
Thank you so much for being here. This is wonderful. Can you hear me? Okay. Little louder. All right. Okay. It looks like we're here, but actually, we're home watching The Bear. Cousin, I ask you, how can a room fill with people who are not there? Cousin, we are home, huddled, watching. This brajol, this swimming pastry, Carmi, Sydney, Jamie Lee Curtis's cigarette. All of us trying to make something beautiful when no one makes anything beautiful for us. All 7 fishes, all beef, all opening night. Let's live a little. Oatmeal. A moon, worn as if it had been a shell, said W.B. Yeats. A moon can be a shell, Yeats says, when both are worn, which means that anything can be anything. My mother's moon can be a shell was oatmeal. Not eaten in the morning, same bowl back to the icebox, out for lunch. Not eaten at noon, same bowl back to the icebox, out for dinner. Not eaten for dinner, slammed so hard she stuttered for the next 90 years. The moon can be a shell, and oatmeal can be a stutter. Both can be carried like a habit. Uncle Benny, a baker. Uncle Benny took in children to live alongside his child in the Depression. A good way to make some money. And because he was a kind baker, he offered to adopt my mother. No, said my grandfather. She has a father. Hello, sugar, my grandfather would say. Maybe one Sunday a month. They might go for a walk, my mother and her father. He might bring a lollipop. Then he would go home to his wife and family, the 2 children they made together, as if he were cheating on his family by visiting his daughter, as if he snuck out to play poker on a beautiful Sunday. That's what a father was, my mother thought. He came, he said, hello, sugar. I heard his voice the other day when my own father died, and I approached my mother from behind and said, what are you doing? And she said, her voice a garment worker, just minding my own business. Is Aunt Gussie a slug in a cup? Like a slug in a cup, clinging, precarious. You lift your legs, Aunt Gussie. You're not a slug in a cup. You're a roquette in a flowery, flowery apron. The mouse on the floor is the slug in the cup. No, the mouse is fast. It's baseboard, racetrack, a derby. Not Aunt Gussie, not the mouse, not the chair, not the legs as they rise. Like a comma, the slug clings to its habitat. The walls, slug on the walls of you, facing Aunt Gussie as she lifts her legs, sensing mice beneath her wing back, we push across the muck of our lives towards you, the slug in our cup, our destination. Pachowie. We had a joke during March Mud about cousin Howie. Pachowie. Like a lot of jokes, without the mud, the month of March, the deck, the winter sun hitting the deck, it falls flat. Trying to explain which part of the not related by blood family Pachowie belonged to, lurching like a groundhog, lifting a deck on his back. Better to remain in the hole under the deck, digging, digging, digging. And finally, Adam the Fox Terrier. You are a small, nervous dog, a man in a fedora, left in the afternoon without identifying himself. Your mother's name is Pam, said the same man who left off my mother at the orphanage. A small dog, 10 years after a street fight, navigating which non-father walks a non-adapted foster child down the aisle. Is it the man in the fedora or Uncle Benny? Two men fight to walk a foster child down the aisle. Like a joke, it begins. Thank you.
Great. Next and last, we have Thea Goodman, a poet, novelist, and educator and the author of The Invented Mother, Poems, Finishing Line Press, 2023, a finalist in the New Women's Voices Competition, 2022. Her first novel, The Sunshine When She's Gone, Henry Holt, was published in 2013 to wide acclaim. Thea's stories, poems, and essays have appeared in the New England Review, The Rumpus, Aerosmith, among others, and received a Pushcart Prize special mention and inclusion in the New York Public Library Stories on the MTA, a digital archive. Thea lives in Chicago.
Hi, everyone. Oh, there's no mic. Okay. Hi. Thanks for being here, and thanks for your patience and good spirit. And I'm just honored to be here among so many wonderful poets and funny poets too. Amazing, really amazing. So this is my book, and I'm going to read just 2 poems from this book, and then I'm going to read a few really new ones. So the excuse me. I have a little cold. Okay, the first one, this book is called The Invented Mother. So as you might imagine, many poems are about mothering. And first one is called Fontanelle. Airborne, I send cocktails to the parents of the screaming baby. The soft spot sounds fragrant and earthy, a French goat's cheese. Fontanelle was every head, the bowl of skull, dangerous to touch, new nerves, synapse, blood pocketing lobes, a pomegranate. My silent teen's favorite fruit, I gloat, yet know, bones coalesce, delicacy never ends. A break in connection is daily as hunger, as cruel as first love, now dead. The father sleeps, the mother rises, shakes her ice, swims the aisle, smiles. She is peripatetic, searching for the shore. Irate infant, no one delivers you up the sludge. All our bedtime sheets are cold, an isolette. Legs spin a sundial on the desert mattress. Each brain is fused, encased in shell. Speak to me underwater, child, I hear you through a sea dream. I once knew, I know you well. The next one I'm going to read, I sort of was deciding as other people were reading that I wanted to find a funny one, but I don't know if I do funny, so I'll try. This one's called Swimming. After the bat mitzvah, faded October tan, Mercury rising, I go for a swim. Questions loom turquoise, lake breaks rock, stories of light open and shift. A family poses in a row. Reproduction is magical and a trope, is our story, yet alone I swoon, scalp unstitched in urban ice bath. Open water threatens breath, dense velvet strokes, no bottom. A confused goose shits green and struts. His task clean, unlike the new mother, nursing self-consciously on the bank. Look at her, a book splayed, untouched, beside her, the divine, the utterly common. The divided effort was mine. Imagine this, temple teen, said goodbye to childhood and met God. An abstraction in a crevasse, or that cloud there, or the lake's nuanced rock face, no foothold, gradient floats of wrapper and leaf. Autumn hues of not knowing, a braiding flesh up mossy tetanus. Dry myself off with the bad towel, lick lips for salt, there's none, blank. Return to my family and cook a blue box of pasta, devoid of minutes, in the big house of no idea. So those are two. And now I'm going to read a couple of newer ones. This one is a form called Zuhitsu. That was an ancient Japanese form, but popularized by, am I forgetting right now? Yeah, thank you. By Kamiko Han. And I believe I believe I did this poem in Elaine Sexton's class. So thank you, Elaine. It's called Seisura. Hydrangeas whisper to the sidewalk. We eavesdrop on a green language we don't understand. Dream the ceiling, fly over sea below. Bed as coral rock, sheets asunder. Pillows tumbled caves for minnows, who swim out window morning green of silent students, broken on test day, have not prepared and forgot to wear underwear. Garbage alley silent is summer, is 6 mammals, 1 house, is endless hunger. This is not a rest. Autumn acorns bullet the deck. Someone's water glass, a bowl of cereal on the stair, cat mewling. New grammar, no sense. Walk dogs, sniff ripped notes, fritter the street. What is the message? Worry a crease. Red cardinal, electric flight, common on the church green, soup lines. Creep. Ice breaks alone each step. What season is this? A rush and plateau of dark blooms. Storm bouquet, acid green hydrangea, drapes the drenched street. The thin stems ache, boast as big as a dinner plate. I'm just going to read one more. And I'm trying to decide. I think, yeah. This one also is a summary poem. Well, yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it's from last summer. An acquaintance on the hottest day on record. The man, friend of a friend, did I know him? Who died this morning. I knew his veined hand, eyes to penetrate shift, uplift hem, a kiss he took square, jaw in a party hallway. His porous boundaries, where is he? We barely touch our own zigzag luck. Today, rain drenches insects, white smoke, sky cloaks Russian olive. The lawn's aviary chitters continuously to say nothing has happened. Lichen still whorls pale green, a growth that can't be stopped unless bleached. The teak bench, finely clean, would splinter to ash. Drop me on my ass. Summer is an avalanche of weeds. Tides that rise and fall. occasional brilliance that sits and stirs story in August's frozen realm. Remember my toddler who drank the leftover Prosecco abandoned at the party. Remember fear and delight as he pokes a very still frog with a long stick, the new grief flooding his perfect face.
I just got to say before going on, thank you so much to all of our readers, all of our writers, all of you for being here. It has been a fantastic night, and I'm just going to do a few little pieces. I want to say that last October, we happened to be our son, and who's right here, Jack, and my husband and I, we were trekking. And before that, we were in New Delhi. And this was in October. October 2nd is Gandhi's birthday. We happened to be there for that. And 5 days after that, October 7th happened. So, and Gandhi is all about peace, civil disobedience in a peaceful way, and protest in a peaceful way. So I wrote this while we were on that trek. So this is not in the book. I'm going to read one new piece and two little pieces from the book. And I'm a painter, filmmaker, I do a lot of things, and I'm writing a hybrid memoir right now, so I'm looking for a publisher, so that's why I'm really here tonight. So help me. Anyway, so this is that poem. And I wrote it, it's funny, because in India, you know, if you take a shower in a very simple way. You just take a little bit of water and pour it on you. So I had just taken a little bit of a shower, straddling a toilet, which is just a hole in the ground, and then I wrote this. So, and this is in Elaine's class also. I read it in Elaine's class. To fight or to pray or to fight, what color is prayer? If you ask, everyone has a reference point or color to stand in. One friend tells me that all Finns love blue because the sky encourages. If a rock in India is painted orange, it is God. Egyptian houses indicate faith in perceptive juice green outer skirts. These things refer and cross into the delicacy of being able to believe. And so I am, and so are you. I was the slowest going over the high pass. I couldn't get the girdle to go the stride. All the while, the clouds have been undressing and watching our exploits. Ground maneuvers happen, the opposite of cleansing, and where nothing is routine. Indian clouds feel older than others, perhaps more patient, kind, gesturing as they pass for a profile, an animal, a trick. Something conflated from astrology, things we remember in their own time. Grasping a baby's finger as a new parent, forgetting the life that came before, and then it is to fight or to pray, and in what color. Because basically I think almost everybody is writing about love in one way, shape, or form all the time. I'm going to read something because Jack happens to be here tonight, and this is in the book. It's called He Has Always Been a Bird, A History of Motherhood Finished. My eyes are dark walnuts, no one to care and fend for. One night, the package of him flies away on a plane to his first separate home west. I had already dreamt that I was burned, ended, buried, between two saddles the color of cypress tree green, uploaded anguish. Our body worries me. He will need a dentist, a doctor in the land of California fire, alone. He is a tiny sculpted piece, the best part that came of me. Motherhood a passage that began when, newly separated at birth, I saw him lying down, our wet, dark hair commingled the same. It has always been for him that I digest the world and offer up the softest curated bits. And then the other poem I'm going to read, I'm just going to do this. This is from my mother-in-law. And my mother-in-law was an amazing woman. She's now in her 90s and not well. But my mother-in-law was one of those people in the 50s who would do audition tapes so that the directors could see a celebrity before going for a screen test. And she knew all the biggies in Hollywood. She was the daughter of a famous Western star. And it's dedicated to my sister-in-law and to research. My mother-in-law's shower. I offered to wash her, as did her daughter and daughter-in-law. Her breasts had survived breastfeeding and cancer. Those soft cascades of flesh, which terraced to her stomach, were now deflated, babyless arms. Her former self was erect with straight toes, different from now. Her character had been softened to empty places. Something came and stole her mind. Her late husband's voice used to calm her. She is in and out. Phases of the moon and sea pull her to look at herself gently on the inside. Bathing day, water rushed over her, and an actress was found dead in a lake. A year-old baby was shot dead in a stroller. California closed down. Water is rushing, washing at all mistakes. My husband was once curled inside her, waiting then. I put a patio chair in the shower below her for support and realized how fragile she was. And she was heavy. I had to do everything, brace myself to not let her fall. She had to hold on to me too. To hold her was to truly love her again, differently for the first time in years. I never saw her vaginal pass, but I held her steady enough to move the bubble sponge over her vaginal parts. She was not even that dirty from a world inside of doors. Her blue negligee waited at attention, wildfire. That shower settled part of every family's story, evidence about how to miss all mothers as they wash away. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, again, thank you so much. And as everybody says, there's a link. We all have books. If people want books, and by the way, you can. Oh, my book. And my mother painted this. May I say something about my own mother? Because I think we're all mothers all the time. Whether or not we have children, we're all kind of motherizing. And I think that we're all acting, caring, taking care of, loving, doing all those things, and the opposite as well. And you know what? We're not all very good at it either. But I was going to say, my mother painted this painting. This is me, and this is my brother. And I want to say something about my mom. I'm so dry, sorry. I just want to say one thing. My mom was a realtor and a painter. And the year that I was born, she sold 12 houses. She was absolutely out to here. And she kept working and doing all these things. That was unusual. My mom died, she would be 103 right now. So it was unusual. And it's very interesting the way we think about motherhood and our mothers and our grandmothers and going ahead. And I think about all these people who are reading, writing, thinking, doing, and really being in the world. And I admire you all. Thank you. Thank you.